We are still on the structures of present tenses. In a previous video, we talked about the structure of the simple present tense and the structure of the present continuous tense. In this video, we are looking at the present perfect and the present perfect continuous tense. Now, let us start with structures of the present perfect tense. Now, two verbs are required to form the present perfect tense. One to represent present and the other to represent perfect. Now, here is the structure of the present perfect tense. Of course, we have the subject, which is the subject of the sentence, plus either has or have, depending on the number of subjects, and then plus a verb 3. Verb 3 are past participle verbs. So the structure is we have subject plus has or have, then plus a verb 3. Now you notice that has, have are present anomalous verbs and they represent present, while the verb 3 represent perfect. Now let us look at an example. Number 1. He has drawn a fine portrait. It's a present tense singular anomalous verb because our subject is singular. Has, being a present tense verb, represent present. While drawn, a past participle verb, represent perfect. So both verbs combined forms the present perfect tense. Let's look at example 2. We have drawn a fine portrait. Here we have a plural present tense anomalous verb and a past participle verb, drawn. Both verbs combined forms the present perfect. Have represent present, while drawn represent perfect. Now let's go to the structures of the present perfect continuous tense. Here, 3 verbs are required, one to represent present, another to represent perfect, and a third one to represent the continuous, that is the progressiveness of the action. And here, since we have perfect coming after present, the verb that will represent present will have to be anomalous. Now let's look at the structure of the present perfect continuous. Of course, we have the subject plus has or have, depending on the number of subjects, plus been, and then plus a verb 4. Remember, a verb 4 is a verb that ends with ing, also known as the present participle verbs. So the structure is subject plus has or have. Of course, we use anomalous here because after this position, the next verb is a past participle verb. So here, has, have represent present. Being a past participle verb, represent perfect. And a verb that ends in ing represent continuous, which is the progressiveness of the action. Now, the verb being is the only past participle verb that is used in the present perfect continuous tense. Let's look at example 1. He has been drawing a fine portrait. Here our subject is singular, which is he, and then we have has. Has represent present, and then being a past participle verb represent perfect, and drawing represent the progressiveness of the action. These 3 verbs combined forms the present perfect continuous tense. Let's look at example 2. Here we have been drawing a fine portrait. Our subject here is we, which is plural. Have goes with the we. Have, being a present anomalous, represent present. Being represent perfect, and of course drawing represent the progressiveness of the action. So these 3 combined forms the present perfect continuous tense. Now let us look at an exercise here. Your verb is right. You will use right to make 2 sentences One to represent present perfect tense and the second sentence to represent present perfect continuous tense. Thank you.